Hello, welcome yet to another episode of iAfrica, the show that celebrates Black excellence, art, creativity, and of course, arts and culture. On this episode, I am excited to tell you that we are joined by David Guy Mutasa. That is the man whose hands sculpted the famous Mbuya Nehanda Statue that is located in the Harare CBD. In the second segment, we have a clarinist and his name is Gift. And of course, in the third and final segment, we take you all the way to Dzimbanhete All Culture, where we are joined by Sekuru Chikonzero Chazunguza, who takes us through the Zezuru Culture. So this is a very exciting episode, and I hope you will stay with us on this episode. I am your host, Nicole Jamu.
iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food, and travel.
So if you were wondering how the Mbuya Nehanda statue got to be where it is located, we tell you the story today of how the statue came to be.
My name is David Guy Mutasa, popularly known as Guy. Most people call me Guy Mutasa. And I'm an artist who actually uses different media. I use clay, I use stone, I have used wood, I do bronze. And of note, I've done the statue of Mbuya Nehanda, which everyone witnesses and so forth. I tend to laugh when people tell me that, when you are driving down and you see the statue looking at you, you have had a blessed day. And so many stories actually coming from the statue of Mbuya Nehanda. I also do paintings. I did paintings from a very tender age, and I did a little bit when I was staying in England, where I had an opportunity to be commissioned by now the King of England to do a bust of him. And you will see that, because of that, that's why you see that I have a painting of him and the Queen Mother, which I'm going to take to England and to meet with the King. I think it was an honor to be singled out to be the only person I want to believe up to now who has been privileged to be commissioned by the King of England. And now I'm actually working also on the bust, on the statue, life-size painting of our late president, our revolutionary icon. And I actually think, and that's, you see, I've put the dress in which they used to the time of war when they were in the trenches, the safari suit, and I'm trying to recap the memories of our war, which was mainly guided by our revolutionary icon, the late President R.G. Mugabe. That is the only lifetime documentary that can be witnessed by generations and generations to come. If paintings are normally hosted inside where most people cannot reach there, but if you document your history through three-dimensional figures like of Mbuya Nehanda, it's there for generations and generations to come. Bronze doesn't rust. And so that's why you see all the monuments that are done, they are made in bronze. So the statue of Mbuya Nehanda, the Zimbabwe Birth Reserve Bank, and many other statues. The Heroes Acre, I worked at the Heroes Acre when we challenged the Koreans that, we petitioned the former president that we need to be involved. And he accepted, and we worked with the Koreans to correct some of the features which we felt needed to be corrected. So that monument at the Heroes Acre is there for generations and generations to come. And that is bronze. So that's the beauty of having sculptures, unlike paintings, because paintings are housed inside, and they are not easily accessible. So we need more sculptures to document our very rich history of our struggle. You know, we need the Tongogaras, we need the Rekaitangwenas, we need so many, you know, the Joshua Nkomos, even our current president. We need to do it now. If we don't do it now, you know, he is not just a president today, but he has been in the trenches. He has been at war to liberate this country. So some, they say after his death, but I say now, not after his death. I thank you. I've learned to do bronze casting, which not many of us, if not just myself, who knows bronze casting, and my brother, whom I took and sponsored so that he also learned the bronze casting. So I've learned quite a lot, and my wish is to establish an art school so that I impart with the knowledge which I have and to leave a legacy. Because I would not want to die with my skills, not sharing with our young budding artists. That's my wish, and I think I will bring it to the attention of His Excellency, our listening president, that maybe he might help me to put up a school which I will then impart with this knowledge, so that we will be known not as only stone sculptures, but also that we do bronze sculptures, and we bring money to this country. There are so many people who would commission us, and we bring money to Zimbabwe. We need foreign currency, and this is part of where we get our foreign currency from. I did many exhibitions in England. I've done exhibitions in America. I've got works all over the world. In America, in Germany, in France, in you name it. You know, because art collectors, normally they look for who is who in the world of art. And the Western world is still tapping on the talent in Africa. We have got an abundance of talent in art in Africa. If anyone wants to move outside the country, I wouldn't persuade them to do that. I say, let's do it at home. When I went to England, the British, they had already given me an indefinite stay to stay in England. But I said, I am going now, I've learned, I'm going to develop art in my country. And that's why I'm here. I think more could be done. We've got an abundance of talented artists who are not known because they've not been profiled. And we need more profiling of a lot of artists in different areas, in Guru, everywhere, in Kariba, and so forth. We actually need to profile. We can generate lots of money for the country. My favorite art piece, if I can tell you, is that of Mbuya Nehanda. And of Mbuya Nehanda, it is a very significant work of art for us as Zimbabweans, as the first woman to be honored in this country. And I think I want to thank the president. It was a game changer. A lot has happened since that statue has been there. And Zimbabwe is going to grow economically, agriculturally, whatever, because of that statue which stands there. The statue of Mbuya Nehanda, which you see in Samora Machel, I'm the artist who was privileged and honored by His Excellency to execute it. And when I was given the job, I thought this was a mammoth task to produce such a revolutionary icon for our revolution, for our independence. And the spiritual world is very alive. When I did the first statue of Mbuya Nehanda, which is still in my gallery, I dreamed of Nehanda in a different picture of Nehanda. And in the morning I drove to the National Archives, and I asked them to show me the pictures of Nehanda. They showed me, and I took pictures, I printed them, and straight away I started working on another statue of Nehanda, not that one which I had actually started with. And believe me, the spiritual world is there. It only took me 19 days to complete that statue, which even up to this day, I don't believe that is possible. It's impossible. Just to do this painting takes me maybe 2-3 months. But that statue, because of the spiritual world, and I don't know myself, I still need to discover myself. I think there's something quite spiritual which is with me. That statue was only 19 days, and I did it and I finished it. When the museum and monuments came, guys came to visit again after about 25 days after they had left my gallery, they were shocked to see that statue. Now, Nehanda in her leg chains of the picture that I had seen at the National Archives. So the spiritual world is very alive, if you didn't know, my young lady. And each time I pass there, I just feel good that at least I've been honored. This is a lifetime honor. Yes, you can do things that goes outside the country, but to me, this is the most important work in my lifetime.
So that was the story of David Guy Mutasa, whose blessed hands made the sculpture of monumental Mbuya Nehanda that is located in the capital city of Harare. Join us again in the second segment as we speak to the clarinetist Gift as he tells us more about his journey in music.
iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food and travel. iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food and travel.
Welcome back to iAfrica, and this is the second segment. And in this second segment, we speak to Gift, who plays not very common instruments in Zimbabwe and is an appreciation of an old genre of jazz.
My name is Gift Magaramombe. I'm a professional musician, performing artist. I'm a composer as well. Being a musician is not an easy job. It's quite difficult. For example, you have to practice for about 3 to 5 hours a day, and sometimes you won't get any gigs. Sometimes, everything goes not as expected, but progress, right? You have to make sure that you are progressing with whatever you are doing. So yeah, that's it. The reason why I was interested in music was because of a friend. My friend invited me to this choral group. That's when I started singing, but for fun. Then later on, I decided to do it professionally. So I had to go to school, I had to learn it, and to really understand the craft before getting into the world. I went to Zimbabwe College of Music, then I finished at Zimbabwe Music Crossroads Academy. I started going to college in 2019, then I ended in 2021. Yeah, being at music college taught me a lot. For example, there are some things that you don't know that you learn at the college. You might have the talent, but you need to know more to be a professional musician. For example, the music theory, you won't learn that when you don't go to school or research about that. The music theory and the art of performing as well, you are taught at the college as well. So my family have always been supportive about me being a musician. Since when I decided to do it professionally, they've always been there supporting me and everything. Yeah, there was a time when I thought that I've made the wrong career choice because of, the industry. It's not really easy. Sometimes you won't get any gigs, and you have school to pay and your family to feed. So there was a time that I thought maybe this is wrong career. But being a musician, I was sure that is the right thing for me to do. But about the career, that was something else. But at the end, it's all working out. So during this career of being a musician, for me, every moment is a big moment. I've been always meeting up people and artists every day. That's my life every day. Every day it's a big moment. You discover some new things. You discover some new melody. It's always a big moment. Every day it's a big moment. I'm mainly a jazz musician. I was trained as a classical musician, but I'm a jazz musician. So I would be happy to work with jazz artists, like even Christopher from New Orleans is like my best clarinetist player. Yeah. So in the next 10 years or decades, definitely I will be one of the biggest artists in Africa. Yeah, that's definite. I'm working so hard to make the dream come true. So these are my closing words to upcoming artists of my age. I encourage you to practice. Practice is the way to success if you're a musician. Consistency, you need to keep on doing the same thing over and over again for you to master it. And patience, you need to be patient with the craft. Sometimes you work so much and you gain very little, but you have to be patient until you reach it.
So that was the story of Gift the clarinist, of course, pushing boundaries and also trying to reignite interest in the genre of jazz. In the third and final segment, we go to Dzimbanhete All Africa Village, where we speak to Sekuru Chico, and he tells us more about the Zezuru culture.
iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food, and travel. iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food, and travel.
Welcome back to iAfrica. And of course, in the previous segment, we were talking all to do with jazz. And it's a genre that is not common in Zimbabwe. But we bring you back home with Sekuru Chico, who takes us through the history of the Zezuru culture.
Panapa tiri inzvimbo iri pa All Africa Village project yedu yatinoti All Africa Village. Sedzimbanhete tichishanda nema artists tichishanda nevanhu vanogadzira content, takaona kuti chinhu chiri kushayikwa zvikuru muvanhu vedu vanoumba content kana kuti vanoita art kana vanoita music, ruzivo rwemutsika nemagariro. Saka ruzivo urwu ndo runoumba chiya chatingati indigenous aesthetics. Saka mukuumba kwatiri kuita misha yemuAfrica tiri kuitira kuti tigone kutora ruzivo tichirichengetedza kuitira kana vari content production vakuzoruda vanowana pekuruwanira pari nyore, nekuti hakuna izvozvi dura riri kuchengetedza zvinhu zvine chekuita neAfrican indigenous knowledge systems. Hatina dura rakadaro. Saka ndiro dura ratiri kugadzira pano paDzimbanhete. Sekuti muno matiri muno imba yechiZezuru inova imba yekuti patapinda muno tese vanhu vese vati aiwa ndo imba yatinoziya ndiyo kitchen. Asi kuiziya kunoita vanhu kazhinji havanyatsoiziya zvine udzamu hwayo nekuti zviri mukati zvinomboitirwei. Imba inoyi chekutanga hainzi kitchen. Imba inoyi inonzi imba yaamai. Ndo zita rainodanwa naro, ndo zita rayakagara richidanwa naro. Zvairi imba yaamai, ukapinda muimba yaamai uchipinda pamusiwo apa, musiwo wekuti kunyangwe pakutovaka musha unoyu, imba inoyi unotozivikanwa kuti musiwo unofanira kunge wakatarisa kumavirira. Haungotarisa kwawangofunga iwewe munhu, unofanira kutarisa kumavirira, ndo chiga chakagara chiripo. Uchipinda pamusiwo apa, kuruboshwe kwako unowana kune chekugarira ichi chinonzi nevanhu bench. Chakutonzi bench, asi harisiro zita racho. Bench chachirungu ichi chinonzi chigara vakwati. Paya panonzi panogara varume paya chinonzi chigara vakwati. Kunzi chigara vakwati uku nekuzogara kwa panoitwa nevarume kureva kuti varume vese vanopinda muno kuverengera naivo baba vepamba pano. Kana vapinda muno vanenge vatouya kuzokwata. Ndokusaka vachigara pakaita sei chakagadzirwa chiri pakakwirira ichi kuti zvinoita nyore kuti munhu asumuke. Ana amai vanogara kurudyi uko kana uchipinda pamusiwo. Kurudyi uko ndokuya kunonzi kuchikuta. Kuchikuta ndokunogara ana amai, ndiko zvakare kumateneti kunosunungukirwa vana mumakare edu imomo. Vanhurume havatobvumidzwe zvinotoera kuti atsike uko kuchikuta ikoko. Tichibva pachigara vakwati apa tinouya pano patigere pano patangogara kuitira kutorwa kwemufananidzo uyu. Panapa panonzi pachishoshori. Ndo paya panoiswa tswanda dzekuchengetera zvinhu, ngave makate emvura, emaheu, tswanda dzezviyo, zvichidaro. Ako kadiki kari mberi uko zvakare ako kadiki kachishoshori zvakare, asi kanonziwo zvakare chigaro chatete. Ndo paya pekuti tete, hanzvadzi yababa vemusha unoyu, kana vauya vaine nhau dzakaringana nevazukuru vavo vane hanzvadzi yavo sikana, ndo pavanosvika vachigara apo. Vakauya vakagara apo vakutozivikanwa kuti vauya nenhau dzekuzorayira muzukuru wavo. Chigaro chatete icho. Kochizouya ichi chiri pakati ichi, chikuva. Chikuva mazuva ano chakungovakwa sechisitubhu chekungochengetera zvinhu. Asi kareko sekudomwa kunoitwa zita racho kuti chikuva, zvinotobva pakuti guva. Chaiti kana chovakwa ichi paitobikwa doro. Imba yakuvakwa kai yovakwa zvimwe zvese, asi kana tasvika pachikuva apa paitobikwa doro raitorwa roendekwa naro kuguva kwatateguru. Kuguva kwatateguru kuya kwainokumbirwa, riri kumusumo tukari tudiki utu, kwainokumbirwa kuteterera kuna tateguru kuti onai muzukuru wenyu avakawo musha wake, muchimuchengeta, muvhumba mhere, murwire hondo, pamusafiwe nenzara, musaite urwere, shuviro dzese dzakanaka dzopirwa paguva ratateguru. Pochitorwa ivhu riri paguva paye roiwa naro, rouya rosanganiswa nevhu rinozovakiswa chikuva ichi. Zvinoreva kuti kana kuri kutaura kwamazuva ano tinenge takulona guva. Tarisa mumba. Chinozova chimisikidzo chekuchengetedza kana imba inoyi, chekuchengetedza kana mhuri yaberekerwa pamusha pano. Tinozoenda tichinoona zvakare pane pfihwa iri riri pakati pemba iri pachoto apa. Rinova rinodzivirira mhepo pakubika. Rinovawo zvakare rine ukama hwakasimba naamai vemba inoyi. Rine ukama hwekuti kutoriputsa iro riri munotofanira kutoripa. harifanirwi kuputswa kunyange zvodii. Pfihwa iri rinotozongobviswa chete paye panonzi mai vashaya, ndo parinobviswa nehama dzamai vemba, ndo vanouya voribvisa iri voenda naro. Asi kuri kunzi paitwawo chikaranga chaisiitwa makore iwayo chekuti baba ava vasiwa vaine vana vazopiwa mumwe mudzimai, kwete wekumanikidzira ka. Zvange zvitori nenzira yazvo, asi vaigona kuzopedzisira varoora mumusha muya mavanga vakatora mudzimai wavo wekutanga nevana vaya vakasiyiwa vaya. Mudzimai uyo aiuya ndiye ainzi Chimutsa mapfihwa, zvokuti pfihwa haraizobviswa iri, raizogara riripo. Saka paya panonzi Chimutsa mapfihwa ndo chirevo chazvo. Tichizonotarisa mudenga umo. Mudenga umo mune mapango anokwira anoenda mudenga ayo, kozouya anotenderera anoenda mudenga ayo. Ndidzo dzinonzi nhungo idzo. Nhungo idzo dzakange dzisingangoiswa kuti chero zvataita, asi dzaitoiswa dzine uwandu hwaitozikanwa huchitomiririra ukama nemunhu anorarama. Nhungo dzaiva neukama nababa kuti zvinoenderana nembabvu dzababa dzekurudyi nedzekuruboshwe.
So if you're a younger person in Zimbabwe who knew nothing about the Zezuru culture, this episode was definitely one for you, as Sekuru Chikonzero told us a thing or two from the Zezuru people. Now that closes off our look at iAfrica for today. Be sure to join us again in the next episode. Until then, take care.
iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food and travel. The focus is on outstanding individuals doing extraordinary things on the African continent. iAfrica presents creatives in their home nations, visiting renowned designers, musicians, architects who are leaving their mark on the young continent. From well-known brands through to ambitious startups, every week iAfrica seeks out the continent's best design and lifestyle innovations. Join me, your host Nicole Jamu, as we take a round trip across Africa and get you inspired, motivated and future-oriented.